All right, we're back. JT with you here, Studio 10-4 Live, the weekly update for May 21st, 2025. Man, feels like we were just in Bakersfield for Trucking for Kids, and yet it feels like Louisville, Matt's was like a year ago or something. It's weird, but and more shows to come. So we'll get all into that and talk about that. What's going on out there, everybody? Got a good show for you. This is our cover trucker show. This is where we feature our current cover truck and trucker of the month. And there he is right there. Well, there's his truck. And this young man, Ethan Rico, and I guess he goes by Rico. So I'm just going to call him Rico. And when he gets on, young man that was kind of thrown in a little more than he expected to be in the business, doing what he's doing, running the family business. If you guys haven't read the story, definitely get your copy so you can, or go to 10-4magazine.com and check it out there. But and I like to read the stories multiple times because it takes a while for stuff to kind of sink in for me. So I read it again today. In fact, just a little bit before the show. And it's just, you kind of pick up new things along the way when you do that. At least I do. So quite a story. Unfortunate, you lose your dad, and he did at I think a young age. Both of them. Rico and senior, wasn't that old of a guy either. So, but that being said, here he is, 21 years old now, I believe. Rico, that is, and he's running the family business. 2 years in the rearview mirror of his father passing, and only getting one season behind him to work with his dad. But anyway, I don't want to go into all of his story. I'm going to let him tell his story to all of you. Welcome you into the show, everybody. I see we got a bunch of people tuned in today. Nobody's commenting. So anybody wants to be the first one to jump in and say hello, I won't see who you are until you jump in and leave a comment for us. And we have a new feature that I'm going to check out. I'm going to bring it live right now. Let's see what it looks like. First time I've done it. So there it is, a little corner down here. Once you guys start talking and chatting, your comments are going to come up on the screen, I guess. So love how this app, StreamYard, there it is. Right on. Alex Camacho, what's going on? Clay, what's going on? Well, guys, howdy, and Alex, what's up? It's a cover show, and it's brought to you by Pittsburgh Power and Evans Detailing and Polishing. Thank you guys for being the co-sponsors of our cover show every month for a long time now too. So nice to have them still on board and continuing to do good things in the industry. Both of these companies do amazing things for our image, for our performance, for the owners and operators that are out there running their equipment. Evan, of course, making us look good, and Pittsburgh Power and their product Max Milage making us run good. As I said, I'm gonna let Rico tell his story. And Alicia, thanks for dropping in. Obviously, our guy, and look forward to being able to have interactive commenting going on with him when he gets in. By the way, I got a call from Rico. He said he's getting loaded. He was in one location, headed to where he's going to be. I think he's headed to the barn so that he can get live with us. And so you guys are stuck with me until he shows up, and hopefully it won't be too long, because man, I can go. I can just go and go and go, and I don't mind doing it. And I got a bunch of stuff to talk about, so I'm gonna jump right into it. Mary, thank you for tuning in over on YouTube. And by the way, we simulcast every show, every Studio 10-4 Live through StreamYard. We are on X, YouTube, and Facebook, and I got some Facebook stuff to talk about. I mentioned in the promo we're going to do a tech moment. It's going to be a tech moment, the digital tech moment. So that's going to be me talking to you guys about some things that have been going on, and I've had some great resolve to some things I've worked with Facebook on, and we're just going to call them Meta, because there's Instagram and Facebook owned by Meta. You deal with one, you're dealing with the other. We'll just call them Meta, and I want to share that with you. So there's some good stuff, then there's some not so good stuff. But here's some good news, though. This is something I and we've probably all heard or seen this before, or had an experience of our own. How many of you traveled? You've flown somewhere, and you either don't get your luggage, part of your luggage, or it's destroyed at some point in your trip. Whether it's the destination you're traveling to, or by the time you get back home, and whatever, maybe one or all of your luggage, whatever the experience was. I'd love to hear. You guys can share with us here. I travel for 10-4 magazine, Studio 10-4 Live, and I have a backpack, I have a carry-on that is a suitcase full of gear, and those are my two items that I can bring on the plane. Then I have the check bags that I check. One of them is my personal luggage with all my clothes and whatnot, and then the other is more gear. And the gear bag that I checked, it's pretty good size, but it is a reinforced polymer, honeycomb plastic, structural, sides and bottom. Anyway, long story short, it got destroyed on my last trip. And when I say destroyed, I mean, I'm talking this thing, it was done, just absolutely done. And I'd done some things to reinforce this thing because, I thought, all right, I get it. These guys they're vicious. I mean, and this thing had fragile stickers all around it. And I think that they take that as a challenge. It's like, oh yeah, fragile. We'll see about that. And they won. They killed it. Well, this was the trip where I said, okay, I'm done. And it was United, and United destroyed it, and they had me send it into their place in Texas to look at it and assess it. And I got an email back and a phone call today, but I already got the email, filled out all the response on the email like a week or so ago. They're going to buy me a new bag. So, hey, applause, man. And if anybody out there has ever seen that video, United Hates Luggage or Guitars, Hates Guitars, it was probably 5 or more years ago when that came out, and a musician had his guitar checked, and they destroyed it, and they wouldn't do anything for him about it. Anyway, that was a huge, huge deal. So I think apparently they've decided that it's worth doing something about to listen and look and resolve. And they did. Thank you, United. I appreciate it. They're paying me full cash value of the bag, which is a couple $100. I bought it on Amazon, and I'm going to buy another one because I still need to have that kind of a bag for my gear, and we'll do it again. So it looks like you get like a 1 year or a 2 year baggage cycle with them. So they ask you if you had any claims in the last 2 years. Well, no, I haven't, and this one got resolved. So yeah, I'm excited about that. In other news, something, and this has probably got something to do with a lot of folks. Everybody watches and has their favorite sitcoms over the years. I'm going to go back to the 90s, when I was watching more of that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna raise a toast to Norm. Everybody, George went. He left, and you know what struck me. And by the way, cheers, George. What struck me as cool, if there's something that can be cool about somebody passing away, is how that his family worded it. That he was home with his family, and he passed happily and peacefully. Just sort of, and when you see this guy, I mean, that's just, this dude personified happy. And I've loved watching his interviews, because when he gave interviews and he talked about this, especially during the time of his residency at Cheers, uh, this guy had the best job in the world, and he loved it. He literally got paid to sit at the end of the bar and drink beer and tell jokes and do funny stuff that made people laugh and was part of a fun show, a fun deal. So, and the way that these guys work, I don't know if anybody out there, if you guys know how the movie world works. They have their season where they film, and then they have their season where they show. So they cram all the episodes for a season into X amount of months and get them done, and then they're off the rest of that time of the year, and they're doing other stuff. Well, George was out doing a lot of stuff. He was a guy that was on Saturday Night Live. He did personal appearances all over the place, product endorsements. He had a good thing going, man. And he was, and I got to say, part of a kind of a duo, but he was his own guy. But him and Cliffy, the characters, Cliff Clavin and Norm Peterson of Cheers, as far as I know, were the only two that were there the entire series. And I'm thinking every episode. Maybe wrong on that. Google it, back me up, tell me if I'm wrong on that. Norm definitely was. I'm not sure about Cliffy, but anyway. So I don't know. Those of you that are in my wheelhouse of age, going back to Thursday nights on NBC, and it was Night Court, Cheers, or Cheers Night Court. I can't remember the order. Hill, what was it? Hill Blues. I can't remember the cop show. And through the years, there was some other ones, Hill Street Blues. And then there was some other ones that came in. LA Law came in. And that was kind of like Kim knows Boston. There you go. Boston, Mass. She's from that area. And Thursday nights NBC had a pretty good lineup. And that was actually, now that I think about it, it might have been the late 80s or very, very early 90s, 90, 91. I think it was the late 80s. Yeah. But I remember watching those shows on Thursday night at various places with individuals that are or are not around any longer. So anyway, it's funny how the timeline of our life can be reconstructed by TV shows, music, of course, Facebook. I mean, look, Facebook, Meta, it is a timeline. I was looking back at a friend of mine that I've known for, 40 years. Yes, late 80s. Thanks, Kim. 40 years. And I wanted to reach out virtually and see if she's still around, because she doesn't post anything anymore, and she was a really good friend. And still there, and looked back at all those, years back of posts that she used to share. She's got family stuff that she has to deal with now that I wouldn't wish on anybody. So my hat's off to you, and I hope she is able to, and I know she will. She's good and resourceful and will make it through. But man, and you look back at all the people, and I do this, and I've said this before too. I look back every week when I put the promo together for this show. I'm inviting you guys personally. And it's just amazing to me how many folks are not with us anymore. Dougie, good to have you, buddy. Loved the Taco Tuesday yesterday, man. That was a plateful, brother. I was jealous, man. I wanted some. So I ended up doing pizza, but your tacos look good. Anyways, I look back, and like I said, I was glad to see that she was still around, as well as many others. And unfortunately, there's others that are not. But life goes on, man. The best advice I have that I can give to anybody out there that's listening right now, watching, whether live today or in the playback later on. And I'm going to open up our feed here again, and I'm just going to leave it on now. Is, what? Reach out to people, man. Reach out. If there's anybody you have any questions about, reach out. And I'll tell you something else too. With the closure and connectivity of social media, there's people you probably have looked at for years and you've never met and you've always wanted to just say hi, do it. Say hi. Uh, create that virtual handshake and reality of a relationship. Be respectful, but just I say do it. If there's any artists that you haven't seen and you're like, oh well, maybe next time, there might not be a next time. Get out there and go see them. And I'm talking, from that one guy that sings or good band, a guitar player, whoever, whatever, go see it, do it. Don't let life leave you in a position where you're going, oh crap, now I don't have the option. And you don't want to be in that spot. You want to check that box. That's all I'm saying. Memorial Day is coming up, and I'm going to jump back to some tech stuff that I wanted to talk about. Memorial Day weekend is coming up this weekend. Uh, there's always the confusion. In fact, I'm wearing my Giants. Right there we go. Giants, and there's the patch over here. They put these out last year. This is their Veterans Weekend, Memorial Day weekend hat that they put out last year. You have Memorial Day, you got Labor Day, you got Veterans Day. What am I missing? Is there's another one out there, and the people are always confused about which day is celebrating what. Memorial Day is specifically to remember those that have served and gave the ultimate sacrifice. That's what it's about. So it's respectful to focus in on what it means and know what it means, know what it's about. I think it's disrespectful to put out there, where you just sort of like a blanket. Let's get educated. Let's know what we're talking about, and make sure you guys are in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. That's all I'm saying. And I'm very tied to the service members, law enforcement, our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, everybody. I have friends that have served in everything. Everybody, people I know and grew up with, everybody has served. Not everybody, but those that have served have covered all of the wings or branches of the armed forces. That's the best way to put it. And I never did. My dad wanted me to. I never did. He was like, "Go, join the army," and I thought, well, yeah, no, not for me. And I went on my own way and chose my own path and did my own thing. Do I wished I had? Maybe. Some folks that I know that served, they're definitely better for it. I have lost friends that I grew up with in the war, Vietnam. I had older friends. Yeah. So, and I grew up in Monterey Peninsula, Monterey, California, Carmel Valley, California, but the Monterey Peninsula, which is the host to Fort Ord, California, which was the home of the 7th Infantry. But during Vietnam, during the 60s, it was basic training there at Fort Ord, California. So we had live fire practice and rounds and drills and everything going on day and night. And where I lived at, I could hear all of that going on all the time during the Vietnam War. And I remember watching Walter Cronkite, and he was the anchor on CBS, giving us the news. Not like it's done today, by the way, either. Walter Cronkite, he shared the news with you. It was not an editorial. It was the news. It was factual. It was what was going on. And then it was left for all of us to decide how we felt about it. Dan Rather was a correspondent, and Dan was in Vietnam, and he was the live correspondent for the CBS News. Now, the way things are now, it's a lot different. That could be a whole nother show, but I'm just gonna tell you, if there's folks out there that are watching now, and you know what I'm talking about, let us know, because if you don't know and you're like, what's he talking about? It's a different world now in the news media. What our president calls fake news all the time. He's he's right on point. News correspondents and anchors were in place to give us the news and let us decide for ourselves how we felt about it. Hi, Ingrid. Good to have you on the show. Loved seeing Ingrid and everybody else, by the way, at Trucking for Kids. What a great show we had this year. I can't wait till next year, and obviously having everybody back. And those that weren't able to make it, to have you out at Famoso for Trucking for Kids 2026. But don't forget, we got another show coming up, and that's in November, and that's the 10-4 Trucker Rodeo. And that's another opportunity for you to get out and have some fun in Bakersfield with the 10-4 gang. So enough about all that stuff. The tech moment that I wanted to talk about. Here's something for you guys to think about. And this is, you know what? And Ingrid, don't worry, honey. You are awesome, and you're driving. So, you got to do what you got to do. You got to make hay. I have the luxury of being, for the most part, here doing what I'm doing, and it's not making me go all over the country and have to be at point A to point B to point C and back to point A. So keep doing what you're doing and be safe out there, as well as the rest of you. The tech moment I wanted to talk about is, you guys, you have a lot of choices to make in social media. So listen up. This is important. This isn't just another rambling of just nonsense. It's a real deal. Your time is valuable. And yeah, you're on your phone and you're swiping up, down, left, right, all these different directions, depending on what app you're on, doing what you're doing. There's people out there that are sharing video, pictures, content. Let's just call it content. And you like it and you want to react and you want to go, oh, that's great. And you hit that like button or love it or hate it, or, or it upset you and you're crying, or you reacted and you care and you want to show support. Okay. Those are the reactions. Then you go over and, you decide, well, man, I like this person. I'm going to follow them and I'm going to give them my support. Unfortunately, it's become a place of people throwing whatever they want to throw out there that they think will tug at people to have them follow, join, come along, become part of the deal. And they create a following, and then it's not who it really seems to be. I'll give you a great example. If I got a bunch, but Brittany Force, everybody, NHRA, okay? Brittany Force is not on Facebook, period, at all. Brittany Force is not on Facebook. She's on Instagram, not on Facebook. But there's all these Brittany Force, the real Brittany and blah, 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 all these different ones that, they post pictures. It looks like, how can it not be her? That's a picture of her and her dad. That's a picture of a video running down the track, and so on and so on and so on. Well, here's what's happening. And Brittany, I'm just using because maybe some of us can relate to her. She's a professional top fuel driver, and her dad's the winningest, funny car driver of all time, winningest and team of all time too now, I guess, and since last weekend, I think. Yeah. The bottom line, what's happening here is, and Eva, good to see you on the show. Thanks for coming in. Nice to have you back. These people are creating assets that they can resell. So I have somebody that I was working with, and informally as a friend, not professionally. They didn't hire me. I didn't, get paid. I just didn't agree with what was going on. And yeah, there you go. Ingrid, bam. So that's when I was going to get to that too. So someone used mine, and you're blocked from it, and it has over 2 million followers. They think it's me, I guess. Okay, so Ingrid, you need to get with me. I can get you to who you need to get get this resolved. Okay. This friend of mine that I was working with, I reported this fake, 60,000 follower account on Facebook to Facebook. They got back to me, and this was back in December. They got back to me and they said, well, they're not violating any of our terms of service in our, in our community. So, we're not going to do anything. Well, I got with the person who is the actual person that this other one was imitating, and I said, "Hey, you need to do something. You have to." And she wasn't on Facebook, and that was part of the problem. The fake one was, but the real one was not. So she finally got on Facebook, and she finally created her persona, her personality, her account, and contacted Facebook, let them know my complaint was still in there. Long story short, I got notified just the other day. She got notified further back than that. The account finally got removed. This person was taking everything that this other person was sharing on Instagram. That was the only account that she had. And she was taking every video, every picture, and bringing it over to Facebook and using it on this fake account. And like I said, had about 60,000 people on the account, and the person was going to resell it. Well, that's what's going on out there. So what I'm saying for you guys to do, you're like, okay, John, I get it. Maybe, maybe not. Bottom line is this: whoever you interact with, I don't care if it's John Testa, 10-4 Magazine, whoever, whatever you are interacting with on your social media channels, on any of them, check and see who it is that you're interacting with, because you just don't know until you look. And the way to go back in and look, I've shown that before, but I'm going to tell you, you can go in real simple, and you can look into the pages on the about section, and you can go a little deeper, step by step by step, just by clicking, and it'll bring you to wherever the page is originating from, and it'll tell you that this is, in fact, been verified. Number one, verified profiles are definitely the way to go, because Facebook or Meta does all the verifying with whoever's applying to be verified, and you've got to show every freaking thing you got to prove that you are who you say you are. So there's one thing. So look for the blue badge. The other thing is to go back in and look and see if these people are actually who they say they are by going into the about section on the page, click it, and then click where they're coming from and see if they're even in the United States or not. Now, this goes for groups too. This is another one. Groups are huge with this Confederate fake profile, fake identity stuff. And again, their whole purpose is to suck you in, and then they create huge numbers of people, and they resell the page or the group. They'll sell it to somebody, and then that person will put their name on it, and it becomes their deal. Now, in tandem with all of that is all the pictures and video. Well, that's the original real stuff that they're stealing, that they're pirating, belongs to somebody like 10-4 Magazine. It's our stuff. We paid the money and the time and the effort and energy to get this and collect it and then have it out there for you. We're not saying don't share stuff, because that's what we want. We're saying don't take our name off of it. Don't steal things and put your name on it and claim it for your own when it's not. And that's what's going on in tandem with these fake groups and fake profiles, fake pages that are out there. So a little bit of something in the tech world out there. And I know I harp on this stuff a lot, but it's a big part of our world. I deal with this all the time for us at 10-4. And I mean, I literally pick up the phone, and if there's a phone number, I'll call these people. I do not have a problem doing that. I will reach out and email them. I will text them, whatever it takes to get a hold of somebody and say, hey, we're not going to live with this. So if you think you can just keep going, you're not. Now, on our stuff, those kinds of things have dropped way, way, way off. I mean, very seldom do I see any more fake stuff. I do, however, see a lot of other people out there that are, Instagram celebrities, social media celebrities, let's call you. And you have to deal with this all the time. Alyssa, good to have you on the show. Good evening to you too. This is something that you guys have to deal with. Now, back to what Ingrid brought up, and I'm gonna bring this back up here. The person I was telling you guys about that I was working with, that I helped to get the fake account removed, she had somebody that went in and locked her out of her account and then sent her a ransom note and said, "Hey, give me X amount of dollars and I'll let you back in." Well, this is where it gets really freaking ugly. Um, the person that was the pirate was a Facebook employee. I'm going to leave it with that. I got Rico over here, and he's in his truck, and let's see what's going on. Let's see if we got him. Rico, what's happening, buddy? Hang on a second. There you are. Can you hear me? Oh, he's got bad signal. Rico, can you hear me, buddy? He's locked up. Yeah, I know what he's probably trying to do. He's probably still out there he's still out there on the road. Obviously, he's in his truck, so he wanted to make sure he didn't, completely miss us on the show today. Um, hopefully, you're not driving, are you, buddy? Rico, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Nope. All right, we'll work with them. We'll see if we can't get this to happen. I'm going to take him out of the show for right now, and we'll get him back in here. He'll probably have to get into a better spot with a better signal. Anyway, I left off telling you that person's account was actually hijacked by an employee of that company. They were doing this. They were locking people out and then sending them ransom notes. I'm not at all certain what happened to that person. I did hear that they got fired. That was at least what happened. Brandon, what's going on, buddy? Good to have Brandon Mendenhall in the show. Good to have you on. And of course, Brandon, one of the top hands out there at Hammett Excavation. Extortion is a criminal thing. So, people are out there extorting people, which is what this guy was doing. I think the criminal charges ought to be brought against him. Boy, I hope Rico gets in a spot so we can get him again. Lifting up my Cerveza, my New Belgium IPA to our buddy Norm. All right, let's see what we got. All right, man. There you are. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hey, Rico, turn the volume up, buddy. Crank it up. Crank up your volume. Oh, man, what a bummer. You know what? If we can't get Rico in here today, guys, I will get a hold of him and we'll do a record. Hey, man, there you go.
Oh, there
Rico.
you are.
Hey, man. Hey.
Oh,
I heard a little bit. Still out there on the road, huh?
Just got back right now.
Did you?
Just pulled into the shop.
If you want to take a minute and go inside and get on a better connection to the internet, go ahead. I'll sit here and keep going until you get on. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna give him a chance to get in the shop or wherever he's at, and that way he can get onto a better Wi-Fi connection or a better digital connection, because the one he's on right now is not working. It's not allowing us to get the video and the audio to come in together. I can't. It's like one or the other right now. So Rico, if you're hearing me, just get inside your shop or wherever you've got a good Wi-Fi, and we'll jump in at that point. There you go. So he's on his he's probably beating feet into the shop right now to get it done. What else have we got going on out here in the big wide world of sports? Have you guys been watching what's going on our social media? I've been pretty busy at it here lately. And the group is looking real good. You guys have been doing a great job over there. If you haven't ever been over to the studio, or rather 10-4 Magazine Lounge, that is on Facebook, and that is for you guys. That's a group I created just for you guys to hang out and talk with each other, share photos, share videos. This isn't a place to conduct business, okay? This is for fun. So it's not for advertising. That's not what it's about. It's about you guys sharing your stories, where you're at, what you're doing. Truck shows that are coming up. If you've got a company you need drivers, put your driver requests and ads up in there. I don't have a problem with that. Anything that is promoting, the business, in the sense that a driver's job, a truck show, memorials, anything, anything like that, go ahead. But this isn't the place to be putting your polishing business, or something like that, that may be, looking for business. You can talk to me about that, and we'll get you in on another level, but not here. So check it out, see what you think. Go ahead and join in there. You guys can join in. You don't have to be invited. You might need to get approved. It just depends if you answer the questions or not. Answer the questions, and it's all go. Man, this truck was freaking awesome. This Dunnigan 359 at Mid America was something to see. I don't know how many of y'all were there and saw this truck. I know Ingrid, you did. Brandon, I know you did. Who else was Eva, were you there? That sounds awful, but man, I was running around for 4 days solid, crazy time there at the show. So I can barely remember the show itself, but man, what a truck. Absolute beauty. And I shared that over on the group, as well as over here on our Facebook page too. So you guys are able to check it out at either place. Waiting for our guest, our cover truck guy right now, Ethan Rico, and hoping he gets a good connection to the internet so that we can get him on the show. I got a message here, make sure it wasn't our guy. All right, nope, we're all good. So hopefully he'll make it, and we'll be able to have him on. And like I was about to say too, I think before he came on the last time and try to get in, if for some reason he cannot get that connection done, I'll get with Ethan, and we will then do our own recorded version of the interview, and then I'll post that up for you guys, and I'll try to do that tomorrow, if it's possible for me to get with him either after the show today or as soon as possible. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, Brandon, that truck was amazing, man. So were so many other trucks that were at Matt's this year. I mean, here's Al Guzman right there. That's a Trucking for Kids. Man, that was a sweet, sweet truck. All of his trucks were just top shelf, outstanding, beautiful. Fred Rivera, man, old OG from Stockton up there in the San Joaquin Valley, showing up at Trucking for Kids, as he should and deserves to be. I was glad to see his trucks there this year. And this guy, man, wow. That's just a bitchin' truck right there, and a great picture. That is, of course, Mid America, out there at the Paul K. Young Truck Show Beauty Contest. I did reach out to Dan or his son earlier this week after I posted this one up, to try to get him for tomorrow's Throwback Big Rig Thursday show, and I haven't gotten a response back yet. So I hope everything's okay with those guys, and we can get them in and have them on the show. So we'll see what happens. And then, of course, oh my gosh, Tyler Vanderswag, this baby right here, best of show. And it was an incredible truck to see, day or night. And Andy Goach, the owner of the truck, and yeah, man, great team. They were very successful at Mid America this year with their truck, and turning heads all around the place, man. It was really something to see. All right, well, listen, we're just about getting to, we got 20 minutes or so left here. We'll see if we can't get our buddy Rico in here or not. If not, like I said, I will get this thing recorded and we'll share it with you guys tomorrow, and or as soon as I can, as soon as I can get it recorded, and then get it posted. We'll do that. Um, Gosh, I'm literally kind of out of stuff. Oh, and by the way, I normally would have had whoever we try to have whoever is shooting the cover feature, and that this time was Dan, our guy, Dan the man, Dan Lins. But and Dan can't be here right now either because Dan is putting the magazine together, and I was going to explain that once Ethan got on the show because Dan was very impressed, as am I too, with Ethan's story. Uh, you know, not every kid his age can do what he's doing, and he's getting it done. And under circumstances of some tragedy a couple years ago, losing his dad, and literally, getting uh, in front of everything that it takes to run a trucking company. You got 10 power units, 20 different sets of trailers. Uh, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, especially in a seasonal haul business where, he's working in the ag industry hauling nuts, and there's a lot of different moving parts to make that work, especially trying to keep drivers or get the guys that you have that work well and do good back in the truck when it's time to go to work. Those certain months out of the year, from August through November during the harvest, especially. But then the rest of the year, it's spent doing fertilizers and hauling equipment, moving them around, bees and different stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on out there. And not to mention, you got to run the business side of it, the business side, and that's a whole nother process too. So, um, hats off to him, and I look forward to having the chance to get him on the show and introduce him to all you guys. If you haven't yet, like I said, get on over to 10formagazine.com and check it out. All the photos that are posted up in the story. There's some great shots in here. Uh, there's Rico himself. The truck, many pictures going on in here, out in the looks like, if I'm not mistaken, out in the almond orchard. And I can call them that because I used to farm them, and that's almonds. And if y'all don't know why we call them almonds, that's because when they go to harvest these things, in fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, where is that picture? Come on up. There it is. So those are shakers. And what happens is those things go in and they're in the orchard and they grab the trunk of the tree and branches. So they're able to grab any part of the tree when it's time to harvest, and they shake the L out of them. You guys get that? Shake the L out of them. That's why they're called almonds, not almonds. But anyway, um, that's what those are. And once the trees are shook and the nuts are on the ground, what happens is they come back through with vacuums or sweepers, and they sweep them into rows, and then they hit them with the vacuums. Hey, look at now! It looks like we got it. Now it looks like we got them. Hey, man, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Oh, dude, 100% better. That's awesome.
Sorry about that. I'm a little late.
Oh, no, it's all right, man. You know what? We got you in, and that's all that counts. And I was just actually kind of going over, some of the how things work, what you do, and when, and all that. I'm pretty familiar with it all because I used to grow almonds, or
Oh, did you?
almonds as we call them. Yeah, I
Almonds,
did.
almonds.
Yep, almonds, baby, down in Manteca.
Uh-huh.
And I want to also share with you that Dan is very apologetic and sorry he can't be here, but because the magazine needs to get done for June, he's buried in it getting it done. So, but he sent his greetings and thanks and wishes he could be here, but he's just not going to make it. So,
Okay.
all right, man. So what's up today? Where are you at now?
I'm in Northern right now.
Okay. All right.
I just
Cool.
got back. I was gonna be home at the computer, but I didn't expect to get done this late today, so I just pulled into town to get better service. There's bad
Well, you know
service
what?
there at the shop.
You got to make hay, brother. You got to do what you got to do out there, and priority is making the money to pay the bills and support the family. So
Yeah.
no apologies needed here. That I'm glad you were able to get in and get her done. So congratulations on May 2025 cover of 10-4 magazine.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I know you and I spoke a little bit the
Uh,
couple days ago, but
yeah.
been kind of a fun time for you since you got the announcement and the cover and everything's been going out in social media, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people that have reached out. Like I said, the other day when I talked to you on the phone, I didn't know it was I knew it was getting like in the magazine. I didn't know it was like when it was gonna be posted or anything until I was hauling fertilizer and my phone kept ringing and going on a bunch of notifications. I went on Instagram. That's when I first saw it. That Dan had posted it, and a bunch of family and friends that all reached out, say congratulations, and a lot of guys
Yeah.
from down south and trucker friends.
Yep.
That's
Well, that's
pretty cool.
awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, and I don't know the extent of your reach where you're going
Uh,
in during the harvest time of the year. You're kind of in your area, right? Isn't that where you're focused
yeah,
on? Yeah.
yeah. During harvest time, we're all local within Glenn, Tehama, and Butte County. We
Okay,
all stay
perfect.
local.
Okay, perfect. So for those guys, there, it's funny how the ag world works too. There's a lot of guys that they're doing what they're doing because they have to have trucks or they hire you guys, to come in and be that part of their operation. They don't
Yeah,
really follow the trucker thing.
yeah.
But some of them do, and some of them are very, very, very into it. I was just mentioning, one of our guys, he's an OG out of Stockton, California, Freddie Rivera, been
Yeah, I
around a
know the
long, long
Rivers.
time. You know him, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's some nice trucks.
yeah, man. I mean, there's guys like Freddie that have been out there doing different things for years. And, you do whatever you got to do throughout the year to keep the trucks rolling, whether it's hauling nuts during the harvest, you're hauling fertilizer after that. Guys like me, we were hauling, jip down sometimes out of the mountains to, do that, whatever it took.
Uh,
There's a lot of different stuff going on out there. So, right now, what are you up to right now? What are you hauling? What are you doing?
right now we're in fertilizer season. Right now, I just got done hauling aqua that lasted about a month, and then right now we're hauling just regular fertilizer like UN32, urea, humic, Can 17, whatever loads he gives us. But right now, a lot of places are out of product, so I'm having to go down south to get a lot of the loads. That's why I was late today.
So, how does the material get from down south up here by rail usually, or they truck it
A
up?
lot of the stuff they usually comes by road, and then we'll haul it from the place to the field,
Yeah,
wherever the order's going to. But they're out of fertilizer down in my area, so I'm having to go down south to get it and take it down there. Like this morning, I did one from our toys down the little bit past Dixon, and then
yeah.
my second load I reload in Woodland and drop off in Ord Bend over in our area nearby Orland.
What's going on with the material? What is the rail just falling on itself, or other issues?
It's just hard to get it right now. They're saying that it's the tariffs, but I don't know, to be honest. It's
Yeah,
just
that's bull.
that's what they're all saying, but I don't know because they're out everywhere around Stockton.
Yeah.
Woodland just got product yesterday. Our toys, everyone's out of fertilizer right now. The UN32.
I'm gonna call party foul on the tariff crap. That's just it's just not it's just not
Yeah,
whatever they're doing, and it's the same thing when it comes to diesel, and they try to stick it to you on the diesel fuel
yeah,
prices or the surcharges, and there is or there isn't any, and it's never changes. It's same old.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but you guys, what now? How long is this cycle going to last? You guys are going to be done with this, and then what are you doing after the fertilizer stuff?
After fertilizer, we'll be done at that at that truck show coming up in Red Bluff in a couple weeks. But after
Oh,
that, we'll
there you
be
go.
in the shop servicing all the equipment, all the hoppers, trailers for the
Yep.
almonds, all the flatbeds, the low beds, all the trucks. Basically, bring everything in for servicing and then get ready for harvest time because harvest time we can't have any breakdowns, just like minimal breakdowns as possible
Right.
because it's
Now, how
super
do, how
late.
do you do on your driver pool? I mean, I read in the story, it looks like you got a pretty good return cycle of guys, the same guys coming back in. But are you looking for anybody right now?
Right now we're not looking for anybody because it's seasonal. The fertilizer is almost over. I'd say about another 2 weeks and we'll be done with the fertilizer and then we'll be in the shop servicing. So we usually keep 1 to 2 guys full time, not including myself, to service all the equipment. And then during harvest time, we have a bunch of guys that come in for harvest time. We have a bunch of guys, some older guys, some younger guys in the mid 40s, 50s that have come through for harvest time. They work 4 months out of the year, 3 to 4 months, whatever harvest is, from August to December. And once after that, they go on vacation and they go back to their normal job, regular jobs.
Okay. So how does it work for you? Because I'm yeah, and by the way, next week on Studio 10-4 Live, the weekly
Yeah.
update, we're going to have Phil Miller and Farron both on, as well as
Uh-huh.
Frenchie and Stewart. If Stewart's available to come on, we're going to have him too. But we're going to be talking to Frenchie and Farron about the show coming up.
Uh-huh.
But then after that, we're going to have Phil and Farron talking about the cow business and trucking and how it's working out there in the world.
Uh-huh.
For you guys doing what you're doing, I mean, are you under contract? Do you have contracts with guys, or is it a handshake, and we'll see you next time around? Or how's it work?
No, we have contracts with all the guys. So my dad's been with the same people for over 20 years. He started in 2000, so about 24 years, almost 25 years, going on
Okay.
25. We've
Okay.
been with them for a long time. So we haul for them every year, same
Awesome.
people. And
That's
then
that.
for the with Phil, I actually just met Phil last year at the truck show. They had a memorial trophy for my dad, and
Yes.
Phil actually won that trophy.
Yes.
It was he's a nice guy. How's
Phil is a nice guy. Phil's a old schooler too, man.
mm,
He's been out there showing and trucking for a long time, and
yeah,
some of the nicest equipment out there on the road too. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to having him on the show and talking biz and trucking and what's going on in his world. Um, you guys um, have the hoppers that you're using for the
Yeah.
nuts,
Uh-huh.
and then you got tankers for fertilizer, right?
Yeah.
And then you got some flats as well.
We have 3 sets of flats for boxes. We use the flats for the boxes, which are seen as in the magazine.
Yes.
We'll do haul those during harvest time. Right now, we're moving them right now using 2 sets, hauling boxes back and forth, hauling the in show. But they don't really typically get used till around August, from August till when harvest is over. It just varies on the weather. The 1 year we got done the second week of January. This past year we got done right around Thanksgiving time. It just depends on the if
Right.
we get any rain or not, how soon the rain comes.
Right. And I'm showing some of the shots from the cover shoot over here. These
Uh-huh.
hoppers are for your for the nut harvest. You guys, and do you
Yeah.
now? I mean, I don't think we need to give everybody like a nut harvest 101, but you've
Uh-huh.
got all the conveyors and all that stuff, or do the farmers have that stuff and you just bring your truck and they load?
No, so the farmers they have everything. They have all the tractors,
Yeah.
all the equipment, all the harvesters, the belts, elevators. They have everything.
Okay.
We just have the trucks and the trailers, and we show up to the place. They load the trailers, and we haul them to where they need to be hauled to.
Awesome. That's good, man. That's a whole nother harvesting's a whole nother business. I got
Yeah,
friends that are in that business, and yeah, that's a whole nother deal. So, um, and
that
so this is
picture.
you're hauling their stuff around from orchard to orchard, then too, huh?
Yeah, we haul. So they'll call. They'll like we'll haul all the nuts during the daytime, and then as soon as we get done with that for the day, then they'll call me to midday for the to haul equipment at nighttime. So I'll be moving equipment around nighttime through to whenever. Sometimes like 11, 12 o'clock at night, moving equipment around different fields. So it's there in
I
the
got a
morning.
picture of you and your wife up here. You want to introduce?
That's my girlfriend. Yeah,
Oh, girlfriend. Okay. No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, jumping the gun. All right, that's cool. And what's her name?
Her name's Haneda.
Anita. It's
Yeah,
good
it's
to
a
have you on the
with
show
a J.
with a J. All right.
With a J, yeah.
Okay.
That's a
And
picture of me and my dad. That picture was taken store from Norcar Custom Trucks. That
yeah,
picture was taken the day we got that truck back after store bagged it.
nice. So let's talk a little bit about your story. And I did brief everybody a little bit about it. 2 years ago,
Uh huh.
when you lost your dad, I
Yeah.
mean, here you got your first time in the truck on your own, solo. doing the harvest, things are moving along, and then boom, right? What
Yeah.
happened?
It was. I don't want to get emotional on the live, but it was tough. My dad, like I said, he was doing perfectly fine, and out of nowhere, he started feeling sick, and it went downhill. And after that, everything had happened. It was July 22nd, the day passed, and we started harvest like 2 weeks later. So I had basically just jump in a truck and go. Luckily, we had three guys full time that my dad had hired, so they've been here around like 8 9 years, so they already knew how everything went. They helped out a lot. One guy took care of a separate department, and I took care of the stuff out in the field and moving equipment around, stuff like that. So I mean, everybody knows what I was. I mean, everybody was going through a hard time after that happened,
I'm sure.
and we all worked together, and we made it through that year. Then the second year, it's same thing. Everybody. We have a really good crew that comes for harvest time, and everybody sticks together and communicate with each other, and we get the job done.
Well, much respect to you, my friend, and my condolences and thoughts and prayers to you and your family.
Thank you.
I mean, it is still fresh, obviously,
Yeah,
and yeah.
it's still
So,
pretty hard. I mean, every time I get in a truck, it's first thing I think about. I mean, we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for my parents. I mean, my dad's running this company, and my mom she does all the stuff in the office, all the paperwork, stuff like that.
well, you guys together, a family operating a business, and trucking is not a job from my vision and view. It's a lifestyle,
Yeah,
and especially when you have a family run, owned, operated business like you have. So I'm happy to see that it's going the way it's going for you, and I know Dan has much respect for you,
yeah.
and as he stated in the story. So um, we haven't met yet. I look forward to that. I hopefully we'll meet you in Red Bluff in the
Uh,
show coming up, the
you
Frenchie
coming down to
show.
that one?
I'm supposed to. I've got some stuff I'm dealing with right now. I have to actually move or be moved, and if I'm not, then I can't go. If I'm moved, then I can go. Yeah,
Uh,
so it's kind of iffy right now, and that's not where I want it to be, but that's just how it's working out. So
yeah.
um,
Well, Dan and
otherwise, I will be
the
there.
Trucking for Kids trailer be there?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. I'll see Dan over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Dan Shan will be there, and I would be the only one that may drop out. I'm waiting until this weekend goes through and I get done what I can get done, and if I can and get everything out, then I'm there. I'm good.
Mhm.
So fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. We took two trucks last year at Bobtails. This year we'll be taking two trucks with combos.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Well, we should have a good showing there,
Yeah,
and everybody that's watching and listening right now, guys, get registered and get it done.
yeah.
Um, let them know you're coming. I have, in fact, I wanted to bring this up, and while we're both here, there you go. So, and there is Frenchie right there. I want you guys, everybody out there, to know, whoever's watching now and on the playback later on, uh, this everything that's made at this show is going to go to help support him.
Yeah.
And he is a quadriplegic. It's from an accident he sustained when he was out trucking with a buddy. And the story, I'm going to let him tell it because we're going to share that next week. He's going to be on the show next week with us,
Well,
and as well, so
what
will
time next
Farron.
week?
Yeah. So it is a story to be told and be heard. But guys, help us out. Get registered. Come on out. And hey, even if you can't make it out there, here's the other thing, folks. Um, you guys can donate to the GoFundMe that's been put out there for him, and that certainly would help as well. So um, I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm just going to call you Rico because I guess everybody does, right?
Everybody calls me Rico.
All right. Well, then that's what we're doing, man. I'm so glad you were able to get things handled and get you on here.
uh,
And you know what, man, we'll have you back on the show again too, because we got a little bit of a short deal with you here today, but we're up
oh,
at the
doing a
top of
little
the
late
hour.
today. Uh huh.
So another time, and in fact, make it down. We'll get you on the show down there while I'm at the Red Bluff NorCal Spring Fling. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right. You take care and God bless.
All right, go. Let's do.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. There you have it. There's Rico. And he is our, as I said, our current May 2025 cover truck and cover trucker. Appreciate him being able to take the time and get in here and get it done. Thanks again to Pittsburgh Power, to their products, Max Mileage and Evans Detailing and Polishing. Time to shine. If it's time to shine, it's Evan time. Get him on your car, your truck, whatever, man. The guy's got products for everything, and there's a whole bunch more stuff that he does. But today it's all about time to shine. Thanks to all you for tuning in and bearing with me there to carry us through until Rico could get on the show. The flyer for this weekend, I wanted to bring that up as well, just to kind of give you guys a little peek at it. There it is. If you want, you can go over to their Facebook page, NorCal Spring Fling. There is a schedule of events that's posted up there now, as well as the flyer. Bobtails, $75, combos, $100, RVs, cars, pickups, trucks, all that. Everything can come in, man. It's pretty much an open grounds over there, and I'd love to be able to see everybody there, so I hopefully will, and we'll see what happens. The big thing for me is, like I said, I'm actually moving this. I'm in the process right now of doing that, so I need to get everything situated so that I can walk away and go to the show. And if I can't, then I'm stuck here for the weekend, still moving. So we're working on it. Look forward to seeing you guys. We'll try to drop in tomorrow. I wanted to have somebody out here for the Throwback Big Rig Thursday version of Studio 10-4 Live. We don't have them lined up right now, so maybe we'll put something together. And then again on Friday for our Friday drive-by. You guys take care. Thanks for all of you tuning in. Keep the shiny side up and stay safe out there. And we will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Ethan. Appreciate it, man.